I think Sterling at the end of the day has something unique. And it has that because it's a smaller community. It has that because of how fantastic the teachers are.
I'm Agnes Stowicki, Managing Editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private and independent schools to bring you insights into school programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administration. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
I think the thing I appreciate most about Sterling Hall was that there's such a chance for leadership opportunities at a young age. I think in a lot of other school structures that don't finish a grade 8, or maybe even that just don't approach leadership the same way that Sterling Hall does. I think students don't necessarily have the chance to develop those skills, but instead at Sterling, every student had the chance to take on a leadership position and really grow. And I think it certainly set me up well for life afterwards. Yeah, I think Sterling Hall really prioritizes leadership. I think the way that they trust all of the students as a small school, they're able to really give not only individualized attention to students, but really make sure that each of them has an opportunity to learn and grow in those later years. And so, when students are leaving Sterling Hall, they've had this incredible experience as a leader that students don't get in other schools, but that is alike for every single student at Sterling. And that's really, really fantastic. I think as well, the teachers at Sterling are amazing. That they're kind, they're empathetic, and they're fantastic at their job. And then the students are great as well. And so you have a fantastic community that really supports each other. And my mind always goes to the fact that Sterling is one of the best raisers for Terry Fox Foundation in Canada, and we're an incredibly small school. And so the ability for this small community to really put its mind to big things and to take on those challenges as a group together is really amazing. And I think it's due to the strength of everybody in that community, definitely going back to that leadership point, the opportunities that students do get, but as well as a school, it's just a really fantastic place to be and caring group of people. Yeah, I think kind and empathetic were two of the ones that really jumped out first. I think energetic as well. The school is so always moving somewhere, and always everyone's always working towards something really exciting. And I think I guess the other one would probably be happy, because my memories are always of folks smiling in the halls, of students having a great time with each other, but also of teachers and of parents really contributing to the community in a really pleasant way. And it's as a result, a really safe space to learn. I think for me, like there is there's a couple of things. There's this idea of citizenship and global citizenship and citizenship in the community that I think is quite unique, and it builds on it being such a small school, because that ethos is so ingrained in the school, and because there's not that many students in a class, it's very easy to expose all the students at school to that sort of ethos. And so you have everybody getting involved in the fundraising efforts or the charity events. And so you really have students growing up with a real sense of responsibility to the world around them, to the community around them. And so certainly for me, I had opportunities at sort of a young age to get involved in sort of that charitable way that wouldn't have, I think, existed at any other school. And it's due to not only those leadership opportunities I mentioned before, but as well, the real caring of the school to fostering that kind of citizenship and character in its students. And I don't think you necessarily get that anywhere else. I think building sort of, great leaders and great citizens of the world are number two. I also haven't mentioned academic excellence, and I think academic excellence is a third that is really, really important to Sterling. And certainly I felt very well academically prepared for my time after the school. And I actually, at my high school, some of the best performing students in grade 9, after we'd left Sterling, were students who'd come from Sterling. And I think that's an experience that tends to repeat itself, across high school environments. And so certainly I think, Sterling is really unique as a community in certain ways and the opportunities it gives students. But of course, the main job is still being a school, and they're quite good at that one too. Oh, I was in grade 3, and I'm not sure what I was surprised by and not surprised by. I think I was surprised by everything because it was, a very different school than my school in grade 2. So, what would I have been surprised by? I think for me, it was the best sort of. I think it was probably the teaching. Like I think it was teaching staff. It was probably the best relationship I'd ever had with the teacher was my grade 3 teacher, who really had this incredible personal connection with all of our students, in a way that when you leave that year, you've really learned a lot, but you've also made a great connection. And one of the things that I've really been lucky to do is stay in touch with so many teachers from Sterling, because they have all made such an impact on my life, and they were also lovely as well. And so it's really a joy and a privilege to be able to have worked with teachers who really wanted to cared about their students and wanted to bring the best out in their students. And I suppose when I was in grade 3, I didn't really know that was going to happen. Yeah, absolutely. I think my experience very much shaped who I am as a person. I think academically, of course, but as I've mentioned, sort of the citizenship and the leadership that Sterling Hall really instills in its students are quite unique. And that sense of community is such a safe space to grow into those qualities, and to really become who you are as a young person, and then be able to take that forward into other settings in your life. And certainly that was the case for me. I don't necessarily think so. I think there's always been talk about whether Sterling Hall will grow and expand, and they've put on a fantastic new wing in the last number of years, which was a great addition to the facilities, and I suppose that the chance to give more students the Sterling Hall experience without, I suppose, taking away from that small tight-knit community that really defines the school, would be, I think, something that I would love to see in the future. No, I think I've gained even more of a sort of an appreciation for everything that defined the Sterling experience. I think the opportunities that I had in debate and public speaking really set me on course for a lot of the things that I did in high school, and certainly even the loves of subject matter that continue in university, and then the work that I do afterwards, and the as I mentioned, sort of the leadership skills really were able to carry forward into high school. And I think that is something that maybe I realized but didn't all the way realize at the time. And then sort of similarly academically, I think it was only when you looked back and you realized how great the education had been, because you're just in it as a student, right? And so it's hard to have that great perspective as an 8th grader, but I know parents saw it, and certainly it became more obvious to me as I got older, and you saw the benefits of that Sterling education, and the more individualized attention we got, and the great experience you had as a young person at the school. I think if I was gonna recommend, I think like it would be first to give your child a chance to have this development that is really, 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 on one hand, small scale, in the fact that it's a small school, it's a small community who have that opportunity to grow, and on the other hand, really punches above its weight class. It feels big, because you have these chances to engage in your community and in the world around you at a much higher level, and you have this academic experience that is so high level. And so that interplay of a safe and small place to grow, but the chance to really have a big impact, to have these leadership experiences and big responsibilities, I think is certainly one piece of it. Another is the school community. Certainly, I think when you have 300 students in your school, it is always going to be a little bit more tight knit, but certainly Sterling Hall fosters that, from parents to the children to the educators. And I think the last is really, to me, if I was going to recommend when parents should send their child to Sterling, the answer is definitely for those last couple of years, grade 6, 7, 8, because I feel those are the most unique parts of the Sterling Hall experience. The ability to have that leadership role as you get older, and the ability to really, as well develop your interests in not in a non-academic way, and to really get a sense of a little bit of the work that one gets to do, whether one is working for sort of the sports team or the citizenship team or the arts team, and they're leading the school, and the opportunity to stand up and practice some public speaking. And I have to say, practice some public speaking is one thing that Sterling Hall does maybe better than anywhere else. And so that's something that certainly impacted the rest of my life. But absolutely, that kind of ability to take on leadership roles in grade 7 and 8, I think would be the third thing, as just certainly advice that I would give to any parent considering it, is that however you want to decide on the many years of your child's life, I would definitely recommend Sterling Hall for that section of it. I mean, I think every student's different, but I think the key advice would be to just kind of throw yourself into the school in a really enthusiastic way, because the school is going to embrace you back and embrace you for who you are, and really provide the opportunity to grow. And I think if somebody had said that to me in grade 3, I would have been confused. But I think at the end of the day, every student has a different experience in those sort of formative years. But I truly believe that at Sterling, they'll all kind of find their way and find what's best for them. And so just the I suppose the faith to keep going if there's not as easy as of a day as you want on day one, or you miss your old school as I did. I think it does eventually work out. Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, I have to say, when I was at Sterling, one of the first sort of things I did was no, actually, it wasn't one of the first things I did. But when I was at Sterling Hall, I loved being an ambassador for the school, and so I would tour, prospective families around. So here I am, sort of reprising that role, and perhaps the answer to this sort of lies in that, and that the chance for grade 6 and 7 students to take families around and show them around the school. I think some schools do it, but not every school, I think, has every student able to do it like Sterling Hall does. I think at the end of the day, if you want to see your child grow and really reach their potential and have the chance for a leadership opportunity that can help them learn sort of what they'd like to do in high school and beyond, but also to really help them grow and be able to do better things in high school and beyond. I think Sterling Hall is a fantastic place for it. And it really is a community that will welcome you and your child with open arms. And I think it is a very unique, space in school in Toronto. And while I think a lot of other schools, maybe, there are things that they replicate about each other, I think Sterling at the end of the day has something unique. And it has that because it's a smaller community. It has that because of how fantastic the teachers are. And I think that, you're really doing your child an advantage if you let them take advantage of that unique community.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.